Well, howdy there, folks. Today I'll be demonstrating how to install the Trueface Windows SDK on a brand new Windows 10 Home Edition VirtualBox image. And we'll be taking you through the entire process start to finish. There's going to be a few things we will need to install. So first of all, we're going to install the Microsoft Visual C++ compiler, which we can obtain by installing Visual Studios. We next require CMake, which we will use the package manager Chocolatey to install. And finally, we will require Git for Windows, which will install the additional dependencies required in order to compile and run the SDK. So let's get started. So first of all, we're going to install the Visual Studio. So let's go ahead and do that. You could probably just download the Community Edition. Okay, let's open this. Alrighty, and let's see what we require here. We probably only require this one here, desktop development with C++. It'll install Microsoft Visual C++ compiler for us. That's all we really need. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, while this is installing, let's go ahead and install the other requirements. So let's go ahead and install Chocolatey, which can be achieved by running this command in PowerShell, which we will need to run as an administrator. So let's go ahead and do that. And then copy this command. Paste that. Begin that download process. Excellent. Now let's use Choco or Chocolatey to install CMake. So we'll go Choco install CMake. Let's go yes. See how this installation is going. Alright, we're making good progress there too. And in the meantime, we can also install Git for Windows. So for Windows, let's go here. First link, let's download that. Open that installer. Taking its sweet time to open. Alright, at least this is done. Okay. We only need this once. Okay, let's go ahead and download this. Put that on the desktop. Get. Yeah, I think we can just use all these settings. Alrighty. Okay, now Choco has installed as well, and it should have been installed to program files, I believe. So, program files, CMake, and then bin. So, this is where the executable lies. We are going to need to add this to our path environment variable. So, let's go to environment variables. we're going to go to path, edit that, just add the directory which contains the binary of CMake to our path. Okay, that should be good. Let's launch this. Now, let's make sure CMake is, we're able to find it. No, we cannot find CMake. Alright, we are able to find CMake. We just had to reopen our console. Alright, so we've done that. The final step is just waiting for this to finish installing. But while we do that, we can actually go ahead and obtain the Truface SDK and get that ready. So let's start by navigating to docs.truface.ai. We're going to go down to Truface SDK. And why don't we install the alpha version? So we're going to go down here, and we will obtain the correct one for our operating system. So that's going to be this one here. We are running a 64-bit version of Windows. I also advise, if this is your first time, you absolutely should read this section here, okay? Because there are certain limitations of using the Windows SDK. But let's go ahead and download that. And just like that, it has been downloaded. Great, we can close these windows now. Let's go to our downloads. Extract this. Where's the extract? There it is. Excellent. So that's that. Okay. And then from here, I would advise you read the README, which is, oops, I guess we don't have a text editor installed, so we can just really just view that from our command line. So if you go there, downloads, oops. You know, we can actually view the README file, but I absolutely suggest that you have a look at that README file. And now if we navigate to the C++ directory, there's another README in here which you should read because it actually has the specific instructions on how to compile. And in particular, if you're building on Windows, you're going to need to follow these instructions here. Okay, so once we have installed our compiler, which it looks like it's now done, then we're good to go. So yeah, we can exit this now. So we've gone ahead and installed it. We should be able to now run those commands mentioned there. So let's first create a build directory, enter that build directory, and then we are going to run cmake, this command here essentially. So let me just copy it, paste it, but obviously we need to remove this character at the start. There you go, we're able to find cmake, we were able to find our compiler. And then what's the next command is just going to be this one here. Okay, we're going to run 4 parallel builds. You can run as many parallel builds as you have threads or CPU cores. Let's run that. Now we're compiling it. It's going to print out a bunch of warnings. That's okay. Okay, let's have a look at that README again. Alright, the next thing that you must do is after building the executables, you will need to copy them from build release to build before running them. And that's only because essentially in the sample apps, we have to code the path to the images used, and those expect that the executables are in our current directory. So let's just go ahead and move those. So we're going to go move release all to our current directory. Okay, and then the final thing, you must ensure that libtf.dll and libpostpq.dll are in the same directory as your executable. Because right now, if we just try running our executable, so if we try running identification 1 to n exe, we're going to get this error. Okay, error while loading shared libraries. So for that reason, we need to actually move the shared dependency libraries into our current directory. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go move Truface SDK lib and then all.dll current directory. So, and now if we try and run it again, we see that the executable was actually able to run. Okay, obviously it printed an error here because we haven't downloaded our face recognition models, which we can do so by calling the shell scripts, which are shipped in this directory here, in the download models. So we'd have to essentially just run these shell scripts in order to download the model files. One more thing that we didn't do, that we would need to do, is that in the CMake file here, we would essentially need to just insert our token here, okay? And that'll automatically insert it into the appropriate executables when we compile them. But otherwise, everything's working. So hopefully that gave you an idea of how to install the required dependencies and how to compile the sample code.